I saw a video recently that less edited and more simple YouTube videos are doing better on the platform right now, so I thought I would just give that a go with this one. I think that's sort of going to just be the purpose of this whole thing, is just giving my thoughts on stuff and not really putting as much planning or editing time into something, because we're getting to a point now with YouTube and social media where everyone just wants to display this pristine porcelain doll aesthetic where everything's edited and written and scripted months out, and there's nothing really spontaneous. There's nothing really just made straight from the heart anymore. And that's sort of what I want to go for in this video, is just a spontaneous, less edited video for all of you. As a part of this, there's going to be Minecraft gameplay in the background, which you can already see by now. It's just, there's no commentary about the Minecraft gameplay. It's just going to be talking about my thoughts on a subject, and that's the main focus. And if you're still tuning in now, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for our channel, as it helps us out a lot in getting our videos out to new audiences, and it also helps us in letting you know when we upload a new video. Our Bible verses for this video are Colossians 3:12 through 17. Therefore, as God's chosen ones, holy and dearly loved, put on compassion, kindness, humility, gentleness, and patience, bearing with one another and forgiving one another if anyone has a grievance one against another. Just as the Lord has forgiven you, so you are also to forgive. Above all, put on love, which is the perfect bond of unity, and let the peace of Christ, to which you are also called in one body, rule your hearts, and be thankful. Let the word of Christ dwell richly among you in all wisdom, teaching, and admonishing one another through psalms, hymns, and spiritual songs, singing to God with gratitude in your hearts. And whatever you do, in word or deed, do everything in the name of the Lord Jesus, giving thanks to God the Father through him. The Instagram side of Christianity and theology accounts is not real life. This is something that most people don't really consider. It may seem like real life. The people that you may be talking to about theology and other issues are real people, but they aren't necessarily always the majority. And this is something we have to keep in mind as we're making posts, as we're sharing posts, as we're reading posts, and as we're taking in this content every single day. If Instagram Christianity was reflective of real life Christianity, we'd find a world where every single Christian is a part of a mainline church or is a militant Catholic or Orthodox believer. But in reality, you find a lot of people are a whole lot more moderate in their views than what we see on Instagram. Not moderate in a theological or belief sense, but in a cage stage sense. It's like everyone on Instagram is stuck in this eternal cage stage where it's like they just learned this new theological belief system, and now they're fighting for it constantly to win over others. When in reality, a lot of the time they just join that, and you see it time and time again on Instagram. They're not going to stay there. They're going to go join another denomination in another week, and then they're just going to just as fiercely defend that denomination as they did the previous one. It's not really reflective of what you see in the real life church. You see people that change denominations within the church, like you'll see a lifelong Catholic join a Baptist church, or you'll see a Baptist become a Pentecostal, or a Baptist become a Presbyterian, or a Presbyterian become Anglican, or a Methodist become a Baptist. Things like that happen. Denomination switches do happen, but for the majority of people, they're more rare than you think, because people are usually loyal to their group and they're loyal to their church. They don't want to be seen as that outcast that left everything. And by that I mean you create close community relationships within these churches, friendships that are deep. It's not as easy as people online make it, to where I'm in this church this day, that church that day, and that church that day. A lot of Instagram Christians will say they're a part of a denomination, but yet they're not really digging their roots into it. They're studying the theology. They believe the theology part, and that's correct. But once it comes down to them attending these churches, you rarely even really see them form these friendships that would make it really that easy for them to say, well, I believe this week and I believe that next week, so I'm just going to start going to that church instead of the one I've been going to. It would be hard to do that. You'd be thinking about, hey, I formed all of these friendships at this church, and now they're going to be wondering, where am I? Where is this person that's been going here for months and seemed loyal to us and is now saying, oh wait, I'm no longer an Anglican, I'm a Catholic. Oh wait, I'm no longer a Catholic, I'm Orthodox. I'm no longer Orthodox, I'm Baptist. I'm no longer Baptist, I'm a Presbyterian. This endless cycle isn't really something that you see on a common scale, but yet people online want to make you think that it's happening every single day and every single avenue and every single denomination. It's not. This is an extremely rare thing. And the thing is that it's also one-sided in its way that it shows itself to the world. You never really hear of someone online talking about someone going from high church to low church. You only hear the side on Instagram of the low church people becoming high church. But when you look at it in real life, you usually see more of the opposite. You actually see the high church people going to a low church after they felt they've had an experience that wasn't necessarily relatable or personable to them. That wasn't necessarily, it felt cold to them. So that's why they wanted something that was more theologically in depth and less more focused on aesthetics than anything. The thing is, it goes both ways. There are people that go from low church to high church because they want that aesthetics that causes them to feel immersed in the church service. And then there are those that want to go from high church to low church because immersion isn't everything to them. Some of them want practical application more than anything. Basically what happens a lot of the time is that people want attention. When they realize that their accounts numbers are going down, they feel desperate for attention, so they look for anything that they can find online. You never really see in real life someone that's a part of one denomination. The next week, they're part of another, and then saying everyone in their original denomination is going to hell. And then, the next week, they're part of a third denomination, and suddenly, both denominations they were previously a part of were wrong. That does not exist in real life. It's all a part of this drive to grow and have the spotlight put on you 24/7 because controversy sells. This controversy of constantly changing your denomination and saying that who you are is the one true church is this thing of, well, now my post is going to be in someone else's stories. All these people that previously followed me, they're going to be talking about me more, and now my name's going to be in front of a bunch of more people. This controversy is all that they're really seeking, and it's nothing that exists in real life because there's no drive for having numbers in real life. This is something that really only exists on social media, and particularly on Instagram. I made a post in my Discord that was basically talking about political ideologies, but applies the same to denominations too. And it's basically, if you can't hold a view for more than a year, then you shouldn't have been militantly defending that view in the first place. If that view can't survive in your mind for a year before you switch to another view that you start militantly defending, then that view was probably not worth militantly defending. And that same thing goes for these people that are constantly switching denominations for attention. There should be some type of a waiting period to see if they truly say who they are and show the fruits that, yes, I'm committed to this denomination and this is who I am now. This is who I'm a part of now, before they start this cycle of being in this constant cage stage of attacking others in defense for their new denomination and creating this division that exists for no purpose, that's just going to be hypocritically defeated the next week when they decide to change their denomination again. And I think it's why the theological side of Instagram is so insufferable right now. Everyone is constantly in this cage stage where they're changing their denomination every other week. They're fiercely defending this new denomination and saying that all else is going to hell. And it's not right. It makes social media insufferable. Because when everyone is in this cage stage, everyone is hating each other, and there's not 1 inch of space for healthy conversation to take place in terms of theology, in terms of what the church can do, and what we can do in the future as the church in terms of reaching the lost. No one on Instagram is interested in growing through a community of focusing on scripture and prayer and that common hope of Christ. It's this game instead where they realize they can get faster growth through constant poop slinging at other believers. They completely ignore those Bible verses in Colossians 3 that I mentioned earlier in the video of putting on humility, patience, and compassion, to learn to forgive, to focus on unity, and to let the word of Christ dwell richly in our hearts in all wisdom, teaching and admonishing one another in psalms, hymns, spiritual songs, and singing to God with gratitude in our hearts. We are supposed to and allowed to call out people when they're wrong. But we are not to purposely be controversial in order that we are in a constant state of fighting with each other. We shouldn't be the ones encouraging the fighting by making these constant controversial statements just to rile up other people. That isn't who we're called to be as Christians. Humans have this innate tendency to love drama. They love gossip. They love evil speaking. And in this is why people love creating drama, creating gossip, and putting all the attention on themselves. This is what we see on Instagram all the time in terms of theology accounts. They want to create drama. They want to thrive off the drama because the drama puts the spotlight on them. And then, when the spotlight's on them, their numbers go up and their viewers go up. But they don't realize that the growth that they achieve through this drama, through this gossip, through the poop slinking that goes on constantly, it isn't sustainable at all. If you grow an audience through controversy, originally the people that followed you are eventually going to unfollow you. People get tired of drama after a long time. We're tired, after a certain point, of the constant attacks and the constant anger. It's not healthy to constantly be angry in the way that so many theology accounts are now. It isn't good. This isn't who we're called to be. We're supposed to be seeking unity and seeking growth in Christ, not this attack. This person said this person said this. I'm going to say this so the attention's on me. So now I'm being attacked. But oh look, that's a good thing. I'm being attacked. So now all the attention's on me. That isn't a good thing. We shouldn't be seeking this. Because what's going to happen is eventually everyone that follows you is going to unfollow you. Or your growth's going to be stifled because you've built yourself on a niche. And a niche is what a niche is. There's only so much growth that you can achieve in that account that's built on thriving over gossip and naysaying and constant poop slinging. The goal as an Instagram theology account is to be aesthetic and to be attention grabbing. And that means, in a lot of cases, creating overstimulating content that is solely designed to catch your eyes and your attention. It is not necessarily designed for the quality of the content or to help you at all in the post, but to simply grab your attention. And that's where a lot of this basis of gossip and slander comes from, because people are solely wanting to grab your attention more than anything, because controversy sells, which is a phrase I've already used in this video. Social media accounts, marketing accounts, will be telling you to not talk about things in depth because it won't grab people's attention, to not give things the time that they actually need to be explained, because people have short attention spans. But should we be appealing to that? Is that compromise too great for us as Christians? This is something we need to be asking, and something that we need to be questioning when looking at these theology accounts that we're finding on Instagram and comparing them to real life Christianity. Redeemed Zoomer on Instagram is an example of a good account that doesn't compromise for making reels that are designed to be as stimulating as possible solely to capture people's attention. He does a good job about explaining theological concepts in depth, but this is something rare on Instagram. Most people want the attention that's quick and easy and a fast way to grow their account. Almost no accounts that you find are really designed to do anything but be a quick attention grabber in order to get that fast growth, no matter what the costs are in the long term. Statistics even prove that the theological side of Instagram is not real life. As much as evangelicals are demonized on social media, they are not a minority. They make up a large majority of people in the South and in many parts of the United States. Instagram would like to have you think that almost half of Christians are a part of these few predominant denominations which have platform control. But the thing is, when you look at it statistically, almost every one of these denominations has less than 5 million members each, which isn't a small number when you really put it into context. But when you compare it to something like the Southern Baptist Convention, which, from what I'm remembering, has more than 10 million, I think, it's not that much in comparison. But they would want you to think that there are only 5 Southern Baptists on Instagram in the first place. But that isn't the fact. It's the opposite. All of this to say, the fighting, the division, and pretty much everything else that you see on the theological side of Instagram, it is not real life. Real Christians and real churches are nowhere near this level. The trends that you see on social media are not the trends that you typically find inside of real churches. A lot of the large trends towards new denominations that you see in real life, you don't even really see reflected on social media, as a lot of people, a majority of people, don't have theology accounts to express their views on. We're in a minority, really, if you consider anything. For better or for worse, Facebook is actually a better reflection of the general makeup of theological accounts. It's a majority of Baptist accounts with a few Lutheran accounts and a few Catholic accounts, and that's basically it, because that's what the majority of American Christians are. What you see on Instagram is really not a reflection of what the church looks like in America. It's a small picture of the niche denominations, and that's it. I just want to say thank you for watching this video. Be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell, as it helps us out a lot. Be sure to share the video with your friends. Thank you for watching, and God bless.